Every morning you're handed 24 golden hours. They're one of the few things in this world that you get for free. If you had all the money in the world, you couldn't buy another one. Spend them well.
What up, people? Cracked Lemonade here. And I learned a lot about the PlayStation Underground since I did my jam pack video in the meantime, in between time. So there's a reason why I didn't know of the PlayStation Underground digital magazine or CD magazine. It's because it was only 17 issues. It ended in 2001 with a last issue on the PlayStation 2. And I was able to get a couple of issues of the PlayStation Underground. And the way to get it, you would get a complimentary copy if you bought a PlayStation New. And then you would be able to register. So that's where my missing of the PlayStation Underground makes sense. My PlayStation was used. It was given to me by my uncle who had already purchased it. So maybe he didn't look at the inserts. People don't read manuals a lot of times. So sometimes people miss out on certain things. I was not aware of this. And it was out of production by 2001, which makes sense because the PlayStation 2 demo disc that came with the official US PlayStation magazine had the PlayStation Underground logo on it. So, all that to say, I am actually playing an issue of official US PlayStation magazine. This is the demo disc from issue 50. I do not have issue 50, I just have the demo disc. I have issue 52. I thought about getting that demo disc again because I don't have it anymore, but I looked at the demos on it and I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna play this because it has Spider-Man 2 on it. And the funny thing about this demo of Spider-Man 2 is that sometimes after the first cutscene, because I actually played this multiple times, I was having issues with recording it. And this happened multiple times. You let the first cutscene play out, and Spider-Man just falls to his death. Like the rooftop he's supposed to land on doesn't spawn in for some reason. And as somebody who's never played Spider-Man 2 Inter Electro, I only played the first Spider-Man. I still have the first Spider-Man. It's hilarious that there was such a glitch in this demo. And I don't know, it's Spider-Man. I do kind of wish I did get Inter Electro, but the timing of this release was, I feel like it was unfortunate because there was so much going on in gaming. I feel like so this completely was not, or like it just wasn't on my radar. Um, I wanted to get X-Men Mutant Academy for the longest when I had a PlayStation. The issue was with me when I was younger is that I just did not get a lot of new games. Like I just usually the games I had were me going to like Funko Land or whatever and getting like a $5 game from on the PlayStation. that's like how I started getting games on the PlayStation outside of the few that I had, which was like Gran Turismo, Metal Gear Solid, and Skeleton Warriors. So yeah, I didn't really have a lot of games starting out. I played a lot of used games. That's how I played Broken Helix for Konami, Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. And these are games I do not have now, but like I definitely played them when I was younger, and it was because they were like dollar games that nobody cared about back in the day. And I don't really think that they're extremely expensive now, like prohibitively expensive. I think both games are in the $30 range, like last time I checked. And I'm not nostalgic enough for me to get those. So, I just had a different you know, everybody has a different experience with the PlayStation. There was like 700 plus games released, and you got what you got, or you got what you wanted to play. Like there are tons of people who only played like the sports titles, and never played games like Spider-Man. There are people who probably only played like the fighting games like Bloody Roar and Tekken, and didn't play other titles. That's just the diversity of gaming, and I feel like that you know that still exists today. The idea that you everybody plays different things. It's just that you know in a lot of ways we did not have like um the internet to talk about like all the ways that all the different types of games. So like if the people around you didn't play certain types of games, you might not have been aware of that. Um, or if you go to a store and like the cover art doesn't catch your eye, that might be something that stops you from getting the game too. But back to talking about demo discs and the PlayStation Underground versus official US PlayStation Magazine. Um, I'm gonna assume, and I have other issues of official US PlayStation Magazine and multiple demo discs to go through like on my own time to confirm this, but the jam packs weren't as I mean, the jam packs were robust, and these demo discs that came with the official US PlayStation Magazine were not as robust because they had the accompaniment of the magazine. You got most of the substance from the magazine, and then you plug the demo disc into your PlayStation or PlayStation 2, and that's what you experience. You're just there for the demos. You're not there really for previews. And this demo disc is just mostly game demos with a couple of videos. There was an Adidas commercial at the beginning of this particular demo disc that I just kind of let rock out because there's 24 hours in a day, fam. Uh, so you know, um, it's very interesting to me, and I don't know why I died there. I think I was just trying to climb up, and I don't know. I don't. Whatever. It's time to move on to like another disc or another game, anyway. But back to the PlayStation Underground. So the the last issue of the PlayStation Underground came out before I got my PlayStation 2, it seems like. Because issue 5.1, or issue 17, if we just listed them numerically, came out for the PlayStation 2, and that was the last one before they discontinued it and merged the PlayStation Underground with the official US PlayStation magazine. And it throws me off a little bit too, because they kept doing. I remember getting PlayStation Underground Jam Packs in 2001, and I have a PlayStation Underground Jam Pack from summer of 2000. So I'm not entirely sure where the phase out began of those, because during the PlayStation 2 era, the reason I started making videos about demo discs at all, or looking at these at all, is because I was a member of the PlayStation Underground up until 2007, when the PlayStation 3 came out and Sony did, got rid of the PlayStation Underground. So when I got the Jam Pack from '98 and I watched that commercial for the CD magazine, I did not know anything about it, and it's just because of the timing. I just happened to miss out on it. I got my PlayStation secondhand in probably like 1999. So it still would have been out if I got it new, but realistically, if I got it new, I would not have been able to convince anybody to subscribe to that magazine. $30 for what? I got it, and it's not like nowadays where you can pay with it, like things by like credit card. You had to send a check or a money order through the mail to get that. And me back then would not have been able to do that. I was actually a child, like old enough to go into a store, but not old enough to be like, hey, give me a money order or whatever. Like I couldn't open it. Wait, actually no. So yeah, that is the long and short of it. I found out a lot about the PlayStation Underground magazine, and I do think it's cool. I was able to look at an issue. I've actually attained 3 issues of the magazine. I was able to go through one, and I will share it. It's a 2-disc magazine. The first disc is a lot of interviews and videos, and the second disc is basically straight demos. And one thing I do like is that the issue I got and this issue of US PlayStation magazine, and I think they have a little bit of overlap in the demos because of the time that it came out, but they're completely different levels of the demos. So I think that's cool that if you purchased a demo disc through a certain means, you would get a demo of a different area. And I believe in, like, I'm not gonna spoil it. It's just a different level in the magazine that I got, because luckily the time period happened to overlap with this issue of official US PlayStation Magazine. Not really planned out that way, it just happened to work out that way. So the plan here realistically is to go through the magazine, then probably another jam pack. I've kind of fallen down a demo disc rabbit hole. Demo hill is actually like, that would actually be a banger name for a level. But I fell down a demo disc rabbit hole. So I am more aware of certain demo discs that were PlayStation branded more so than I was going into this. And I'm not sure how far this is going to go. The idea was to show, hey, here's a jam pack. Hey, here's an issue of US PlayStation Magazine. And then here's a standalone PlayStation demo disc. Now we somewhere else. I don't know where we are. But now we're talking about videos. This is a video for Dragon Warrior 7, which becomes Dragon Quest 8 on the PlayStation 2. Have to make that designation because Dragon Warrior is Dragon Quest. It's just that in the 90s there was some kind of I think a copyright thing that stopped it from being called Dragon Quest in the United States, I believe. I could be wrong, but there's a reason why, like, you know, why it's called Dragon Warrior, and then it became Dragon Quest when it went on the PS2, but there was no real reason. I think it's like same kind of thing with Resident Evil and Biohazard, where they just kind of couldn't get it everywhere. That's probably realistically what happened. And then we have a video for Siphon Filter 3. Siphon Filter, this is the rant I think I was going to go into when 989 came up. Siphon Filter did the same thing Tomb Raider did. It released so many games so fast that it really just lost a lot of momentum. Tomb Raider, there were 4 Tomb Raider games on the PlayStation 1 because she was just hot fire. And it burned out quickly. So, you know, when we got to PlayStation 2, Lara Croft did not do well on the PlayStation 2. And it, you know, it took up until the PlayStation 4 for her to kind of like get back into good graces with everything. So, you know, it's just a very interesting time. It's good to look back at these things. It's interesting to look back at these things because, you know, I think I remember something, and then that unlocks another thing, and then that creates the idea for me to document this and share it, which is just basically all this is. And I haven't gotten to making the thing for the PlayStation Underground magazine yet, but I do think I'm gonna let some of those interviews rock out, so you can hear what the guys who were doing the work at the time had to say about the projects that they were working on, because I think that is an excellent snapshot into what things used to be. And you know, don't really have a plan after that. I'm just kind of going through these demo discs. Very nostalgic for me, and I hope that anybody who watches this gets some kind of enjoyment out of it as well, because it is like looking at a time where I thought the world was a much, bigger place, and there was so much wonder in like technology and where things would go, and this like Tekken was amazing. Also, one thing I do want to point out, in this demo of Tekken 3, only Zhao Yu and Eddie are selectable, and the 3 times that I played this and it didn't record, Zhao Yu showed up, and when I finally got everything working, Lei shows up as an opponent. And I do not understand why you don't get to do like an arcade thing. You just only get to do the 2 rounds and the demo ends. And honestly, that's all I really got to say about this demo disc. There really isn't much else to add. So I will catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and peace out.